When sleep disappears, the body's first signs. Imagine you're sitting in your usual room, the lights are soft and yellow, everything is the same as usual. But there's one thing that's different: you haven't slept in 24 hours. At first, you're fine. A little tired, but manageable. A cup of coffee, a few stretches, and you're back to work. But your body doesn't think so. As soon as you start cutting back on sleep, even for just one night, the giant control system in your head, your brain, starts sending out distress signals. And this is where things get weird. 1. Your brain starts to eat itself. It might sound a little creepy, but it's true. Research shows that when you're sleep deprived, the glial cells, which are responsible for cleaning up debris in the brain, go into overdrive. They don't just sweep the trash, they also chew on healthy nerve cells. Imagine a cleaning crew being ordered to clean your house, but because you've been up all night, they destroy the chairs, tables, and even the walls before you can stop them. Your brain gets tired, confused, and damaged with each hour you try to fight sleep. 2. Blurred vision, and sometimes, you start seeing things that aren't there. 24 hours without sleep can cause your vision to blur, your eyes to become dry, red, and difficult to focus. But if you go another 12 to 24 hours, something worse starts to happen. You may start to see hallucinations. Did someone's shadow just pass by? Or did you hear a voice somewhere? No, it's not a ghost, it's just your brain borrowing a survival trick, creating hallucinations, when it can no longer distinguish between reality and dreams. 3. Emotions flip like the weather, frustrated, irritated, then suddenly empty. If you see someone suddenly getting angry for no reason, they probably don't need advice, they just need some sleep. When you're sleep deprived, the amygdala, the brain's emotional processing center, becomes unusually sensitive. It reacts more strongly to even the smallest stimuli. You might get angry just because someone banged on the table a little too hard. Or burst into tears when you see a touching commercial. But what's scarier is that after that emotional outburst, you fall into a state of emptiness. Not happy, not sad. As if your mind has been drained. 4. Your immune system plummets, and your body opens the door to disease. With just one night of sleep deprivation, your immune cells begin to become less active. If it lasts a few more days, you're not only more susceptible to colds, but also more likely to develop more serious illnesses, from infections to heart disease. Think of it this way: sleep is when your body repairs itself, filters your blood, and kills bacteria. When you don't let it do that, small cracks turn into big cracks. 5. Your brain slows down like a broken computer, and your memory starts to betray you. The longer you stay awake, the more your ability to remember, think, and make decisions declines. Your brain acts as if you're drunk, but there's no alcohol involved. Electrical signals between nerve cells travel slowly and intermittently. You forget your keys, your password, and then, forget why you came into the room in the first place. When the mind breaks down, insomnia and drifting away from yourself. Let's say you haven't slept yet. It's been 48 hours. 2 days. Your body is still there, moving, working, trying to stay alive. But inside, your mind is starting to break down. 6. False memories, and you're no longer sure what's real. When you don't sleep, the areas of your brain responsible for storing memories, especially the hippocampus, start to malfunction. But the danger isn't just forgetting, it's remembering incorrectly. You tell a story that you believe happened, but it didn't. Or you're confident that you sent that email, made that phone call, but when you check, there's no trace. Sleep is where your brain locks down memories, sorts them out, and stores them. When you're deprived of sleep, you're left with fragments of memories, no longer knowing what's real and what's a dream. 7. Speech problems, words are no longer yours. At this point, communication starts to become a challenge. It's not that you can't speak, it's that words just don't listen. Simple sentences become muddled. You forget words. You stutter. Even speaking nonsense that you don't understand. This happens because the Broca's area, the language-controlling area of the brain, is temporarily damaged by sleep deprivation. The result? You become a stranger in your own language. 8. Advanced hallucinations. You don't just see, you believe. If you stay awake for 72 hours, you may enter a realm that doctors call the edge of reality. Here, you don't just see hallucinations, you start to believe them. You hear someone whispering behind you. You're sure someone is watching you. You feel the presence of another person in an empty room. This is no longer just fatigue. This is when the boundary between reality and illusion melts. This is also the stage where in the military, in psychological torture, or in experiments, extreme anxiety, people start to collapse. 9. Anxiety, depression, and the feeling that you are falling. When you have not slept for a long time, the neurotransmitters in your brain, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, are seriously disturbed. And at this time, you can feel an invisible panic creeping into every breath. Your heart rate increases. Your hands shake. Your mind is restless. You become extremely sensitive to light, noise, and even other people's eyes. An unnamed anxiety covers everything. And then there is the feeling of falling. Falling away from yourself. As if you are standing on the edge of a cliff, there is no wind, but your mind still pushes you one step further. And the scariest thing? No one else sees it. Only you. 10. Losing touch with me, and you are no longer yourself. There is a strange moment after many sleepless nights. The moment you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person looking back. It's not just tiredness, it's not just dark circles or red eyes. It's a deep rift within yourself. Long-term sleep deprivation causes the frontal lobe, the area that creates the sense of I, to become chaotic. You feel like an outsider observing yourself. Everything around you becomes unfamiliar. Your voice sounds like someone else's. You lose touch with reality, with your emotions, with your own identity. In medicine, this state is called ego dissolution, a kind of extreme psychological drift. And with just enough time without sleep, any of us can enter that dark place. Crossing the line, when not sleeping becomes a death sentence. You haven't slept in 96 hours. 4 days. Nearly 100 hours pass in a time warp, where day and night blend together like ink smudges on old paper. Your body is still alive, but inside, every system is screaming for help. And some have started to stop responding. We've talked about hallucinations, memory loss, emotional turmoil. But after a while, what begins to appear is death. The real-life event, Randy Gardner, and the record that almost killed him. In 1964, a 17-year-old high schooler named Randy Gardner decided to experiment, not sleep for 11 days straight, to break the world record. No drugs. No caffeine. Just willpower. At first, it was just fatigue. But from the 4th day, Randy began to hallucinate. Mistaking one person for another. Mistaking a traffic sign for an athlete. His mind drifted into a state of half asleep, known in medicine as microsleep, where the brain shuts down for a few seconds, even while the eyes are open. After 264 hours without sleep, Randy survived, but it took nearly a year to fully recover. Not everyone was as lucky as he was. Insomnia kills, and the unable to sleep until death disease. There is an extremely rare disease called fatal familial insomnia. People with this disease gradually become unable to sleep, no matter how tired their bodies are. First there is mild insomnia, then hallucinations, paranoia, tremors, and finally, death. Usually they die within 6 to 18 months of onset, not from a virus, not from an injury, but because the brain cannot recover from the lack of sleep. Although extremely rare, this disease has proven, prolonged sleep deprivation can kill a person without shedding a drop of blood. Sleep deprivation, of legal torture. In secret prisons, in interrogation rooms, in psychological warfare tactics, sleep deprivation is used as a torture tool, and it is so effective that it can break anyone's spirit. After only 48 hours without sleep, people begin to confess, even things that are not true. After 72 hours, memory is disturbed. And after 96 hours, most cannot control their behavior. No need for physical torture. Just not letting them sleep. So if it is a torture tool, have you ever thought that you are torturing yourself every night? The slow suicide in modern society. Today, sleep deprivation is no longer a problem for a few people. It is a silent epidemic. People brag about working all night, sleeping 4 hours, living on coffee and deadlines. But no one talks about the price they pay. Sleep is cut down bit by bit, as if it doesn't matter. But just like you can't build a house without a foundation, you can't build a healthy life without sleep. And then, the coldest truth comes in: sleep deprivation doesn't kill you overnight. It kills you every day you live. Your thinking ability, your immune system, your mood, your organs, your lifespan, all are silently eroded. You don't see it coming, but by the time you realize it, it's often too late. We always think of sleep as something we can sacrifice, to work more, to learn more, to live more. But sometimes, the price of living more is losing yourself sooner. If you're hearing these words at 3 a.m., maybe this is a sign. Turn off the screen. Put down your phone. Close your eyes, and let your body do what it has been craving for so long. Sleep. It's not laziness. It's life. At fully and truly.